Good evening, college coaches. This is Coach Anthony Williams, founder and CEO of Connected Athletics. We're a startup company based in Austin, Texas, where we're using a technology platform to help student athletes successfully transition from high school to college and then into a career either in the pros or a career in that's based on their major. We believe in helping student athletes successfully transition because it's important and they need help along the way. So we're not just committed to helping kids get more recruiting exposure and offers. We want to be there through the entire process, the roadmap that we call being a career athlete. Before we talk to our prospect tonight, I want to thank our sponsors for supporting the podcast. Go Edit Graphics is a terrific edit company based out of Nebraska. They do a great job of enabling athletic departments at both the high school and college level to give them the graphics they need to promote student athletes or game schedules or new coaches hires or things like that. Buffalo Wild Wings, I think everybody loves wings. I want to thank them for really stepping up and being one of our sponsors to help promote student athletes across the country. And then lastly, my friends over at Epic. Epic is a new and exciting sports apparel company based out of Houston, Texas. Epic stands for Every Play I Compete. You can find out more about them on their Twitter page at I am Epic 24/7. Good friend of mine, Stefan Johnson, is the CEO. They sell uniforms, 7-on-7 uniforms, gloves, mask, anything you need from a sports perspective. They got you covered there. So I want to thank all of our sponsors on supporting us. But now let's get to the most important person and why we're here. Got a chance to get to know this young man down in Naples, Florida, as part of the FBU Adidas All-American game back in December. Bobby, how you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just normal day.
Perfect. Looking forward to hearing your story. Before we get going here, let me tell the coaches about you. So Bobby, and help me pronounce your name correctly, Engstler.
Yeah, that's great.
Bobby Engstler, class of 24, punter, kicker, goes to Chiles High School in Tallahassee, Florida. He's a good-sized kicker, guys. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's rocking a strong GPA of 3.5. He was the number one ranked punter from Coles and the number one ranked pro kicker combo at another unit. He was also, as I mentioned earlier, an FBU Adidas Freshman All-American. Bobby, let's start with the most important thing that every college coach is going to ask you once we get through this pandemic recruiting and get you on campus, your academics. Tell us about the importance you put on your academics and how you got that 3.5 GPA.
Oh, it's the most important thing to me because without it, you can't go anywhere. So I make sure I put that first. I'm a student athlete. So
what are some of your favorite classes that drive that GPA?
Probably math and science because I'm pretty strong in that. Once I understand it, it clicks. I just can do it all.
Okay, numbers guy, I like that. And I know you're still just now in the middle of your freshman year, but do you have an idea what you might want to major in when you get to college?
I was thinking like a doctor, pre-med, something in that area.
Any specific focus? Orthopedics,
Um,
heart, surgeon, what?
I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm still looking at all that, trying
Yeah,
to figure out what looks good for me.
I like it. Okay, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Tell us, there's not a student athlete out there that doesn't, have success without help from a coach, teacher, counselor, an AP. Take this time to shout out somebody at Chiles High School who's made an impact on you, or maybe even at the middle school level, who's made an impact on you academically.
Oh, my coaches, of course. Coach KP, he was my head coach for my football team. He loves all this stuff. Make sure everybody's doing good. He wants us all to come out into college as a student athlete.
Okay. Anybody else?
Um, my middle school coaches as well, and some of my teachers. There's a lot of them. I can't really name all of them, but
Okay.
a lot of people support me in that.
Great. That's awesome. One of the things college coaches want to know about their prospects is what kind of learning style they have. Tell these coaches, like, do you consider yourself more of a visual, verbal, or hands-on learning style?
I'm more of a visual and verbal. Like I'd like someone to show me what I'm looking at while talking to me. It's kind of I don't know. It's really easy to understand that way.
Does your learning style change whether you're in the classroom or on the field, or is it the same no matter what?
The same no matter what.
Okay.
It's all the same.
Okay. And then, eventually we'll get through this pandemic and coaches will be able to get back on campus. For the coaches that haven't seen how you are and how you handle yourself in class, what would a coach see if they were to sneak by and see you in class? Are you sitting in the front of the room? Are you interacting with your classmates and your teacher? Tell us about how you handle yourself in class.
I like to, kind of. I'm kind of independent most of the time. I'm just doing my stuff. Every once in a while, I'll like talk to the teacher about something. I do sometimes talk with like other football players during the class about football. Um, yeah.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, let's switch over and learn a little bit more about you personally. Tell us about your family. Tell us what your mom and dad do. Are you an only child? Are you the oldest, the youngest? Give a little bit of background about your family.
I am the youngest. I have uh, three older sisters and two brothers.
Wow.
Uh, I don't live with them. I'm adopted actually,
Hmm.
but they're
What family?
still.
Yeah.
Uh, my mom is a stay-at-home mom, and my dad works in like the government area.
Okay.
So
Were your mom and dad or any of your brothers or sisters also athletes?
my sister is an athlete. She plays softball. Um, she's really good, I think. So
Is she in high school or in college?
she is a junior in high school.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Tell us, I know we know how hard you work out to get ready for football season, but tell us when you're not working out for football and you're not playing games during the season, what are some of your hobbies and interests away from football? What do you like to do when you have some free time?
Um, I like to. I guess it's still sports, but I like to kick by myself, or at least like learn about what I'm doing wrong or right most of the time. I like to. I do like to play video games sometimes
Yeah.
when I'm out by myself. Um, that's about it. Yeah.
Social media is a big part of recruiting. Coaches are always checking Twitter timelines and Instagram. For coaches who haven't visited your Twitter page yet, tell them now what kind of message are you putting out there about yourself as a student athlete going through the recruiting process?
I'm trying to show them that I'm a strong. I have a strong leg. I'm always going places, trying to get my name out there, trying to be as popular as possible so people can see me. And yeah, I like to get
Okay.
my name around.
All right. Couple of lighter questions here. Tell us what's your all-time favorite football movie?
It'd have to be probably my eighth grade year. Um, I like being the oldest guy. Uh, you know, having other people look up to me. Uh, yeah, and we had a pretty good year. My eighth grade year, we
Mhm.
lost in the semifinals of our district, but yeah,
Okay. Tell me, what's your favorite food?
it'd have to be like a steak,
Okay.
um, in some like rice with it.
Okay.
That sounds good. Yeah.
And then, what kind of music do you like to listen to? Do you have a favorite artist? What kind of music do you listen to? What genres?
I I don't really listen to music as much as I probably should because a lot of people tell me about all these big artists and I'm like, I don't know who that is. But sometimes I listen to music. I don't really know the artist. I just kind of put it on and just, you know, yeah. I don't
Okay.
really have a favorite artist. I
All
don't really
right.
know everybody. Yeah.
What about movies? What's your favorite all-time football movie?
Um, I don't really remember the names of any football movies. We sometimes watch them in our football locker room before a game or something, but I don't really watch football movies that much.
Okay, that's fair enough. Tell us, another thing college coach will want to know about is who will be involved in helping you make your decision on what school you eventually commit to in the next 2 to 3 years.
Obviously my parents, but I'm trying to find like a recruiting guy kind of that will help me out with all this stuff. I'm still getting to that. I haven't really found an exact person yet, but I guess for now, just my parents.
Okay. It's still early. You got a lot of time to find that person, which is
Yeah.
good to know. Bobby, we all love like out in Naples, we love a big crowd watching you play. But as part of that relationship with your community, giving back to your community is important also. Tell these college coaches, what do you do to give back to the people in your community? Are you involved in a church? Are you involved in nonprofits? What are you doing to give back?
I volunteer at it's like a soccer program for kids with special needs who want to play soccer. I I used to play soccer back in my day, my day, but um so yeah, I just kind of volunteer there, and that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. I like it. Um, Tell me, and I love asking this question, even though you're very young. When your eligibility is over, whether it's in high school or in college, when the game is done with you and you're done with the game, what is your life going to look like? What do you want your life to look like after football's over, personally and professionally?
Obviously, I want to go to the NFL. That's probably one of my main goals in life.
Mhm.
But after if I don't end up going there, I'd like to just, I guess, be that doctor that I wanted to major in. I'll be a doctor, and I'll try to provide for my family. Hopefully, I have a family.
Have you thought about whether you want to work in a big hospital or do you want to have your own practice? Have you gotten that far yet or no?
I have not gone that far.
Okay. All right. Got time for that also. Bobby, tell me, and this is another important question for coaches. How would your teammates describe you as a teammate?
Very positive. I like to encourage people to do what they desire to do. If they think they're down, I'll sit next to them. I'll give them some advice. I like to be that encouraging guy.
Okay. I mentioned earlier we were down in Naples back in December. Had a great time down there for the FBU Freshman All-American game. You were down there with 60 other of the top freshmen in your class. Tell us tell us a little bit about that experience down in Naples.
Oh, I thought it was awesome playing with people with such high skill level playing against each other. It was the greatest experience. It was really cool to see that.
It's interesting for those who don't know. With me selecting the players for that game, we had 4 quarterbacks, we had 10 receivers, we had 8 linebackers, we had 12 linemen. We only had 2 kickers. How does it feel to know that you were one of 2 the top 1 or 2 punter kickers in the country?
Oh, it felt amazing. I felt like I was in the spotlight of everything. I felt
You
like I was.
showed off a really strong leg and accuracy. Tell us, for those people who don't know, a lot of kids and people are aware of the quarterback position, the receiver, running back, so on and so forth. Tell us about how a punter and kicker like yourself prepares to work on leg strength and accuracy. Tell us a little bit about the life of a punter or kicker.
Well, I like to get out a lot, kick by myself. I do. It sounds a little weird, but I watch film on myself to see what I'm doing wrong and stuff. I like to work on like leg squatting and stuff for my leg power, and that's about it. Yeah.
Do you have a kickers coach? Do you have somebody that's working with
I
you?
do. I do
Okay.
have a coach.
Who is that? What's his name and what's that like?
His name's John Spradlin. He's not very known, but he lives in my area,
Mhm.
and I go out with him at least once or twice a week and work on everything I need to work on. He looks at like how I do, and then critiques me on how to get better.
Okay. Bobby, you got one thing I noticed when I selected you for the game. You've got not your typical kicker size. You're not some kid who's 5'8", 150 pounds. You're 6'2", 200 pounds. Do you play another position? I have to ask. I mean, because a college coach will see you and want to know that.
In middle school, I did. I was a D lineman. I was a D tackle. I thought I was pretty good. Um, yeah, that's about it. I only played D tackle and kicker. I did play O line a couple times. I was kind of like a pull block.
Mhm.
Just kind of ran through the guy, and yeah,
So
those are
you're
all.
not obviously you're not afraid of contact. So if there's bad coverage and on a punt or a kickoff, you're willing to step up and make a good tackle on the return, I assume.
Yeah. In another thing in my middle school days, I did make a couple of tackles on kickoffs. Um, I wasn't afraid of contact. I've been hit multiple times on punts, field goals. Um, it's all the same.
Yeah, that's good to know. Hey, let's switch over to recruiting real quick. Tell us, I know it's still early in the recruiting process for you, just being a freshman, but what are some of the schools or conferences you're interested in playing in when you do get to college?
Um, Obviously, as a dream, I would love to go Power Five. Uh, I'm really looking forward to going at least D1. Uh, that's where I'm aiming for. My
Okay.
dream school would be Florida, but yeah.
Okay. Are you open to leaving the state of Florida to go to school? Are you open to going anywhere in the country, or you want to stay close to home?
I'd like to go anywhere in the country. I don't know about my parents. They'd like me to stay close, but I'd be fine going anywhere.
Okay. We talked about you're one of the top, kickers and punters in the country. Going into your sophomore year now that the season's over, what do you consider your strengths, and what are some of the things you're working on to improve on for your sophomore year?
One of my strengths is definitely how I perform under pressure. It doesn't change my swing at all. There could be 1,000 people watching me. It's the same kick every time. Um, my weakness is probably confidence in my line. I know I need to have more confidence in them. But yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Tell us, you already mentioned earlier you watch film of yourself. Do you watch film of your opponent each week and see like, hey, that's their top returner, let me kick it away from him? How do you handle film study during the week as a punter and kicker?
We do film as a team as well, and I like to see who's the fast guy and on kickoffs, who not to kick it to. The Yeah, I just look who not to kick it to.
Okay. Is there a certain kicker or punter at the college or pro level that you look up to that you're like, hey, I want to be like that?
Um, Tommy Townsend, he punts for the Chiefs. I don't know if you know who he is, but I worked with him a couple times, and he's just incredible. So that's one of my inspirations for why I want to go pro.
Okay, I like it. All right. Um, you mentioned soccer earlier, but what you got good size, you're obviously a good athlete. What other sports do you play besides football?
Um, I played soccer. I don't really know if I'm gonna play anymore because it kind of messes with my football like kicking swing. Um, but yeah, I played soccer a lot.
Okay. What about the one thing that I love and college coaches love is a player who shows leadership. Tell us, how do you define leadership and how do you lead as a member of your team?
I find it as a person who uh, brings their team to victory, not like forces people to do things, not like a boss type person, a person who's super positive, encouraging, um, like that. I try to be as encouraging as possible. So yeah.
Give us a little bit of insight to a kicker, as a former linebacker myself that played at every level, playing 60, 70 plays a game or whatever. Tell us about how you handle the pressure of you may only get one kick in a game. Maybe it's a PAT, maybe it's a 40-yard field goal. How do you handle that this one kick could be the difference in us winning or losing? How do you handle that from a mental toughness standpoint?
It definitely is very like uh important to me. Like it's scary with all the people watching, and it's your responsibility, your only job to make this kick. But my body, it has muscle memory, so I just trust in that.
Okay. Sounds like you lock in, like you kind of are you one of those guys that kind of, I don't listen to the crowd, I'm not looking at the defense, it's me and the ball. Once I
Oh
hear the
yeah.
snap, I go. I mean, tell us a little bit about your mental preparation before the ball snap. What are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
Oh, it's most of the time it is racing, but I look at the ball, I look at the uprights. That's all I look at. I block out the crowd. I don't look at the defense. I That's all I do. I just look at the ball and the uprights.
Okay. Lastly here, before we close up, coaches love players who are ultra competitive. Tell these coaches, what kind of a competitor are you? How would you define yourself as a competitor?
Oh, I love competing against other top kickers in the nation. I go to camps and compete against them all the time. It's amazing.
Okay. Well, let's finish up here. One of the things we talked about in the beginning was the elevator pitch. Look at the camera now and take your time and tell these coaches who don't know you yet why they should recruit you and what you're going to bring to their program.
I think they should recruit me because I'm a really positive person, encouraging. I love football. I'm always working like physically to get better and academically to get even smarter to have a great career. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Bobby, I'm excited for you, man. Based on what I saw down in Naples, you got a very bright future, and I know that there'll be coaches all over you. We'll get this uploaded to our YouTube channel and get it out there. And there's not a time at my showcases where there's not a coach that's asked me if I know of a punter or kicker, and so I'll definitely add you to the list with those strong academics. So if you need anything going forward, I'm always a phone call or a DM away. Just let me know. Tell the parents and the family I said hello, and we'll see you here soon. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Bobby.
Yep. Thank you.